Those with malicious intent are going to be destroyed by their own evil. It is extremely dangerous to wish evil on an innocent person, especially if that person is anointed. You may not like the fact that they're anointed or that they have been given a certain purpose and spiritual gifts, that allows them to navigate throughout life. The more spiritually gifted someone is, the more pain they had to carry. And people will never recognize that. People lack empathy. Most people, simple-minded people, lack empathy. That's why they could never see the humanity in others, particularly the chosen ones. When you know the type of person that you are, and you're walking in proper alignment with the Most High and respecting divine order, there is nothing that a person could really do to you, especially when you evolved spiritually for years and years. This level of power comes from the fact that you were able to transform everything that was thrown at you into building blocks that allowed you to create a fortress. I guess that explains why some of us are so defensive, because we have built a fortress. We've built walls around us because we know we always expect to be attacked in any way that comes and shows up. The thing about a lot of us is that we've been broken down psychologically and spiritually to the point that, nobody could really hurt us like they used to. Some people might think they're hurting us, but really they're hurting themselves. That's all they're doing. And when you understand the severity of their actions, when they decide that they want to put witchcraft against you, when they decide that they want to destroy you in any way they can, thinking that we don't know or that we don't see the rocks they're throwing at us. These are the kind of people that, they try to pretend to befriend you. But when you have razor sharp discernment, you can tell who's really real and who's not. Sometimes CPTSD can blur the lines and confuse us at times, but it's understandable. It's understandable to have that sense of confusion, right? But we're not talking about that right now. Right now, I'm talking about the fact that there's no need to have fear for anything in this world. When you know the path that you're walking, when you know who's by your side, it really doesn't matter what they try to do, because for some of us, we've encountered individuals that, for as much as we wanted to contribute positively, it didn't make a difference how pure our intentions were, and the fact that we were sent into people's lives to empower. Once that person decides to set an evil eye against us, to such a degree that they even went as far as to do psychic readings to find out who we are in every way, And once they found that out, the first instinct they had was to destroy us. And you know what? If that is what is in their heart, then let them express the hatred they have inside of them. Let them express that and watch how quick that shit goes back to them. Because every sense of malice that they wish upon me, it's only going to go back to them, and they will be destroyed by their own evil. And that's just the way it goes. Because it makes it literally, for them to try to send witchcraft against you, to try to end your life in any way that shows up, including the unaliving part, they are going to be tormented by the evil that they wished upon you and upon me. and many others who are in the same path. You know, you really think that this is the first rodeo. You know, they really think that, huh? There's a lot of people that wished harm upon us from the very beginning, whether it was spiritual or physical. Oh yes, we faced the physical attacks, haven't we? We know so much about pain, and those who know a lot about pain sure as hell know about endurance. And we know what it's like to survive after all of those things, after all the many attempts against our life. They don't realize how many times people really wanted to take us out of this earth. It's not a joke. I really mean that. People really wanted to take us out of this earth. You know? I'm speaking as a person who somebody tried to drown me when I was 3 years old. Yeah. How the hell am I still here? I don't know, man. That's just the beginning. There's more that happened, but I'm still here. So with all the stuff happening, with people thinking that they can get away with the stuff they do in the dark, they got another thing coming. Because I can sense, just like some of you, I can sense when someone wishes ill against me. And guess what? After a while, I get a feel for who it is. And lo and behold, something always happens where they reveal themselves to me, whether or not they meant to do so directly or indirectly, it doesn't matter. They always show themselves. Diablo has to show his hands at all times. That way he could say, I told you so. That way he could say that he showed us and we still chose to ignore the signs that were very obvious. The signs are always there. But you know why we overlook it? Because we have a lot of grace. And we have love for others. The kind of love that they have no idea about. They don't comprehend what it truly means to be loving and graceful. Because we understand that we carry a unique kind of power within. Whether or not they want to believe it, it doesn't matter, because one way or another, they're going to believe it. They're going to become a believer one way or another. So it doesn't matter if they don't believe it, if they want to mock it, if they want to scoff it, that's fine, because this thing is bigger than me. So there's nothing to worry about. At all. Absolutely nothing. There have been many instances where people have shown me love. True, genuine love and support. You know, and like I say, I love those who love me. It's really that simple. And there's people who say that same phrase and they truly mean it. And that's really all it is to it. It's nothing really deep about that, you know. Some of us really operate like that. As long as you're not trying to harm me, if you don't wish any malice toward me, if you have genuine love, then guess what? I'm going to reciprocate that love right back to you. And that's pretty much it. It's really that simple, you know. But then you have the people that pretend to love you, pretend to wanna, it's like you can just feel it. And then throughout your day, you can feel when someone is trying to send a spiritual attack to you. You start to feel this fatigue. You start to have these intrusive thoughts that you never had before. I mean, maybe it's been a while since you had it. You find yourself in a position where they're trying to wreck your peace the best that they can by sending projections to you the way they feel about life and about themselves and about how they perceive others. All of a sudden that becomes your perception, which it was never your perception to begin with. And that's how you lose yourself and you lose your mind in that way. And then it reopens wounds as well, because they know what they're doing when they send those projections to you. It's kind of like a form of a psychic attack, and it's birthed from the evil eye. Those who envy you, those who are jealous of you, jealous of what? Because if you want to have all those spiritual gifts, it's going to come with a lot of pain. It's going to come with a lot of psychological and spiritual warfare. It's going to come with learning how to walk alone. It's going to come with being a wounded warrior and having to, put yourself together. And in most cases, you're pretty much healing by yourself. And it's really just you and God, and that's it. While the world tries to tell you that you're not of God for whatever reason. At this point, it's pointless to try to convince me that I'm not worthy of the Most High. Because of the fact that I made it this far, and a lot of you guys can attest to that. I'm not the only one. There's other people out there that have been attacked in the same way. All those spells, curses, that they try to send our way. That just shows that it really shows how egotistical these people are, that they think that they can control the outcome of our life, that they think that they can decide whether or not we deserve to live. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to be born into a world like this, or in the so-called divided states of so-called America. So I really don't care about any of that. I just allow God to guide me through the process in dealing with all of the mess that psychological and spiritual warfare does to us, and trying to keep myself at peace the best way I can. And one thing I'm going to say is that those who have malicious intent, most of the times they end up disappearing one way or another. Yeah. And here's the interesting thing, is that I never asked to have these so-called spiritual gifts and discernment. I didn't even ask for God to love me. I didn't. Actually, I ran away from God. I ran away from God so many times because I just never imagined that I would be a part of anything at all, really. It's always been me for the most part. I'm the kind of person that you would not expect to even be talking about God the way that I do. Every day he runs through my mind. I used to run away from him, but now he runs through my mind daily. That is my daily meditation. And it has made me spiritually more stronger. And so that's why I got to a point where I got to a point where I am at ease. And because we've been through situations where we could have been taken out of the earth, we're not afraid of one day not being able to wake up. Because I bet that's what they wanted. When they were sending those curses against you to try to unalive you, they were hoping that you wouldn't wake up the next day. You were supposed to have an attack in a certain part of your chest. So that way it could fuel their ego and let them feel so powerful. Oh, they're so powerful. Sending cowardly attacks like that to people that they envy. How pathetic is that? Extremely. Now, when a person like that decides to attack someone who's anointed, whether or not they want to accept the fact that they're anointed, it is extremely dangerous to mess with someone that has a high level of anointing. And as for us, the ones that they like to target wrongfully, the ones that are not harming anyone, the ones who are speaking life into people who are ready to give up the ghost, the ones who have been wounded time and time again and they're still alive to tell the story, and they're not giving up. We will never give up for as long as we're still breathing. And guess what? It's a reason why they've been trying to take our breath away. And I don't mean that romantically. Oh, you take my breath away. Oh yeah, they tried to take my breath away. They try to take your breath away in your sleep, and you wake up feeling like there's something trying to take you out of here, trying to take your spirit. But they can't do that. It's a reason why every attack has failed against us in particular. Why is that? Because they really needed to find out if we really do exist, if we really are real, if we really are sent on a divine mission. And this is a clear indication that you're chosen for something, is that you never asked for it. You never did. And more than likely, you're like you're the person that they least expected to carry on with this assignment. I know I'm one of them. What's the criteria for this? Well, you just have to have an undying spirit. You have to be the kind of person that they just could not get rid of. And you have to be the kind of person that if the day comes when you have to lay your burdens down, and when you have to just lay your head on the floor and say, you know what, my time is here. I have done everything that I was supposed to. I have done everything in my power to live righteously, repent from my sins. And I've helped many people in my life, and I don't regret all of the healing that I've done for humanity. And I know that I've done something significant throughout my life. And I have forgiven myself for the mistakes that I made and learned from it, and being able to still uplift others despite the many times that they tried to destroy me. Those would be my last words before I leave the earth. When that day comes, we accept it. You know, everything happens in divine timing. When it's time to go, it's time to go, right? As long as we get to leave safely and soundly. And there's a great sense of comfort in knowing that we know where our souls will go. And we can't, because we know that we have dedicated our life to saving lives as the spiritual samurai. Do you know how many times people have tried to destroy us, and yet we still breathe? They will never learn, but guess what? Look at it like this. All of the energy, like I said, with this level of awareness, we can see the attacks. And when we see it, we pray against the attacks against us. Especially given the fact that we know that these attacks are injustice. Because when a person is wrongfully targeted, you can only imagine that the sender is going to suffer in the end. Even if they're not suffering right now. The timing is allowing for all of their wrongdoings to accumulate. And by the time the wrongdoings accumulate, it gets to a point where when that spiritual court date arrives, they gotta answer to the Most High for all the evil that they've done to innocent people. And at that point, that's when it gets really scary for them. So there's nothing to fear. The forces of darkness have no power over those who carry a divine light that they are unable to get rid of. There's a reason why they work so hard to dim our light, because our light is our power. The divine light of the Almighty is what provides divine protection. The kind of protection that prevents them from being able to attack us completely. I mean, they attack us, but we continue to go on and on. We continue to move on, and they have to figure out another way and another way. But the more attacks they send our way, the more that they think that they have authority over who gets to live and who doesn't, the more they think that they are the ones that get to determine who gets to have spiritual gifts and who doesn't. You know, those controlling individuals who are envious to the core, those who like to backstab innocent people, will all because of that envy that they have. That hatred that lives inside of them is going to destroy them. So there's no need to do anything to them. They will do it to themselves. I really hope that this video helps you guys stay grounded during these times of spiritual warfare. I just, again, it's just one of those videos. I wasn't planning on making this one, but, I guess I have an addiction. I'm addicted to making videos. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope that it empowers you and you can continue to go on with your day, and being able to do what you need to do in this life. I appreciate every single one of you. I have a lot of love for you guys. Take care, and until next time.